Hi, how are you doing over there? Let me hope you're doing just great. Well, today I thought of sharing something with you that's to me so important because we move from place to place, we interact with individuals, we go to the supermarket, we go to the store, we go to the school, we go on the subway, we pick up our children, we are just about everywhere. What can happen sometimes. But today I participated in a update that I think I should share some of it with you. Not all, but some. Because a few months ago I had the exact experience. If I didn't know what to do, someone could have died. So I'm encouraging you to learn CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. You don't have to be a medical person to learn the basics, not at all. A layperson can be the first responder because the fact that you are able to help someone until advanced care come or professionals who do that come, then you are actually the first responder because you keep the heart beating. Okay, so you can be, instead of being a bystander, for emphasis, instead of being a bystander, you can become a lifesaver. And that can be anybody. If someone is, you were in the restaurant, for example, and someone's choking, what would you do? If one collapsed on the ground, not breathing, become ashen and unresponsive, what would be your action, your reaction? Would you run or would you try to help? Knowing the critical time, so critical. If it's not done within 4, think of 4 minutes, think about 8 minutes, 6 minutes max, that type of way. It's so critical that it should be started just about immediately. So let's look at it this way. You're there and collapsed. Someone collapses. What would be your response? If you're asking, you're looking at someone else, can that person help or can I help? What would you do? Well, let me share with you something happened recently. Before I actually did this update, I was somewhere. Someone came to look for a friend where I was. And I realized at a point when I was not in their presence, there was sort of some commotion. When I rushed to check what it was, one of the friends who visited had collapsed outside. He was in, apparently wasn't feeling well where he was, and he went outside. The other person called. He hasn't come back for a little while. Encourage the others to check. And upon checking, they found him like this. Ashen, change, and what did I have to do? They were they called 911, they were just overwhelmed. They just didn't know what to do. They were troubled, they were terrified, although 911. And when I assisted, I realized that they didn't know what to do or what to say, but they were just terrified and crying and all of that stuff. 911 was called. I checked for responsiveness. He was crouched like that in a chair, ashen, and I got help. One of his friends helped me to put him on the ground. We checked for responsiveness, nothing. Checked for pulse, nothing. Color changing, foaming from mouth and all that. And this was just recently. And I just had to do some CPR. When I was tired, the EMS took some time to come. It was in a rural area, yes, and took some time to come, but we continued CPR, continued CPR. Didn't do any mouth to mouth, right? It was just the heart we were focusing on, and no response. And I was getting exhausted, and I asked the other friend, tell him exactly what to do, and he continued. Then I took over back from him. In a while, EMS came, and we switched. He took over. One of the guys in EMS took over. They continued, and they gave him some Narcan, naloxone. They gave that, and they continued the suction. They gave, and of course they used the AED as soon as it came. And after a while, there was still no response, and they checked up, took him in the van to the hospital. I heard he was intubated and all of that. And the leader of the team came over and said, "Can I give you a hug?" It was just like that. You just saved a life. I was just happy that I was able to do something. And it's important, and I will share with you that it's important that you should be a lay person or a medical person or whatever you do in your sphere of influence. This doesn't it's not planned. It can be just happen anytime and anywhere. So my advice to you is this: even one person in the family, it would be great for everybody, but even one person in the family should know some form of CPR, how to help if there's an emergency. If you're in an area and the person is coughing and you see they put their hand like this, you know that's a universal sign for choking. Well, you know what you're going to do if it's an adult. Now, if an adult, the updated guidelines now is, of course, you're going to stand behind the person and you're going to use the heel of your hand, and in the center of the back here, below the shoulder blade, you're going to give five blows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blows. And then you're going to around the person just above the belly button. You're going to make a fist like this. You're going to put the inner part of your hand inside. You're going to put the other hand over it, and you're going to come in up with some pressure. That's going to help the force to get the object out. Like that. You continue doing that. 5, alternating with 5 back blows, alternating with 5 abdominal thrusts. And continue, get help. If nothing happens, either the patient gonna get out the object, cough it out or whatever, or the patient becomes what? Unconscious. If the patient unconscious, you put the patient down, you start CPR. Of course, whenever you're doing and you're checking what you're 30 and you're 2, you're gonna be checking for what? Any object. You're not gonna try to get it out unless you're seeing it. So, and of course, you call 911, some help should be there around. And you hand over to the trained people, the professionals. So I'm just saying all that to say right now that I would encourage you to be eating and talking and, at the table. And we have to be mindful of that. But it's important that somebody knows CPR. That's what I have to say and share with you today. Dr. Miriam Smith, the host for Empowering New Nurses. And if you go on YouTube, you can look for Miriam Amanda Smith and subscribe. All right? You can check me on Instagram at Podcastmir, PODCASTMIR, Podcastmir. I'd like you to subscribe to my channel and share this information. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Happy 2026. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Bye.